Hello, lovely people, and welcome to Philanthropic February, day 23. At least I think it's day 23. I'm pretty sure it's the 23rd today. I'm Nicolette, this is Stitches and Slapdashery, and what have I got for you today? A bit more slow stitching, and some progress on the Melt the ICE Toque, and some brand new yarn. Yep, I got brand new yarn. I couldn't resist it, and you'll see why in a minute. So what I'm going to do, I have continued doing the spiky stitches on the pink dots tonight. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then I'm going to do some running stitch in a green across the work around the pink dots. I was thinking about this last night as I was going to bed. Honestly, I don't know why. What is it about going to bed and then having your brain decide this is the time you're going to think about every single little thing, and you can't go to sleep? I had the worst night's sleep in living memory last night. I can't remember how many times I woke up, tried to get comfortable, overheated, needed to go to the bathroom, you name it. It happened last night. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. I'm really, really happy I did not have to get to work until 11:15 is when I left, and my shift started at 12. If I had had to get up with the alarm at 6 a.m, I think I would have flung the alarm clock across the room. Oh boy. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Yes, I was thinking about slow stitching, and I was trying to think about the slow stitching so that I didn't think about a bunch of other stuff like work, because what's the point of thinking about work when you're not at work? Forget about it, Nicola. So congratulations once again to Mandy for winning the giveaway. I have made the earrings, and I've tucked them in this little velvety bag with a couple of other things, and I'll be sending them off to her in England. I'm not going to show you them. In fact, I need to get a photograph of them before I send them off so that I can show you them later when she's received them, because going from Canada, it'll probably be a couple of weeks till she gets them. So I will do my utmost to remember to photograph these so that I can show you the photo later on when she confirms they've been received. I just need to get to the post office and buy one of those nice little padded envelopes now, and then I can get it gone. Melt the ICE Toque. Yes, good progress on that. So I have done the band, which had the Morse code in it. So I went from the ribbing and then a little bit of stockinette, a little bit of a reverse stockinette, in other words, purl row, and then a bit more knit. And I did the letters for resist tyranny, resist tyranny. In Morse code, I did 2 pearls for a dash and 1 pearl for a dot, 1 knit stitch between the dots and dashes within a letter, 2 knit stitches between each letter, and I can't remember how many spaces I left between the words. Maybe 5? I'm not sure. And in the end, I just had this smooth section right on the beginning / end of row or round where there were no blips of purl stitches. So it worked out pretty well. And then I did another purl row, and then I've done quite a bit more knit stitch since then. So at the moment, if you fold the ribbing up and then see how long it is, then I think I have maybe, I don't know, it's probably at least the 5.5 inches that they recommend in the pattern from the edge. my friend said if she would do it again, she would probably go to 7 before starting the decreases. So before I start the decreases, I will put it on my head and I'll see how far up it reaches and how it feels. Yeah, so happy with the progress on that. And the new yarn. Yes. There's a little story around that. I don't know if you can see that back there, but there's like this pinky red partial ball of Caron special edition anniversary cakes back there, which was, I think, the peppermint plaid colourway. That's right. And out of that peppermint plaid colourway, I made a hat, a vest, a shawl. Thought there was something else. Maybe there isn't. And I still have a chunk of the yarn left because it's 1,000 grams of yarn. It's amazing. So a couple of weeks ago, I said over the radio to anyone who would listen, any of the staff who would listen at work, I said, does anybody know whether this Caron anniversary, it's not a cake. Yes, it is. It's called a cake. This Caron anniversary cake ever goes on clearance because it only ever comes in, say, November time. And we have it for Christmas. The special colours are usually very Christmassy. There's normally one that's all greens, one that's all reds. We had that one, it was a peppermint plaid that was red, pink, white, blue, and gingerbread, which was very pretty. I did like that one a lot. And there was this other one called Merry Maximus, which I will show you right now. Because I had asked around to see if anyone knew if they would go on clearance. When they did go on clearance, on a day when I was not at work, the assistant manager texted me and said, it's gone on clearance. It's normally $44.99 and it's gone on for $22 a ball. And I was like, yes, please save me too. So that's what she did. She's my hero, that lady. So here we go. I'll take them out the bags in a minute. So 1 and 2. Look at the size of them. $22 a ball. Excuse the rustling plastic for a moment while I unpackage this. I'm really glad that these get left in the bag at the store because, yeah, they do tend to get really, really messy if they are unpackaged. Okay, the labels are coming off them already. Probably because I stuffed them in my shopping bags when I bought them today. But yeah, they're very pretty. You may not agree, but I think they're pretty. So what do we have? We have a rather bright green and a blue and a purple and a red. And that looks like that gingerbread colour in there as well. So quite a lot of shades in one big ball. 100 grams, no, 1,000 grams, 35.3 ounces, 941 meters, 1,029 yards. Insane. And they're in good condition because they were still wrapped up. So I am impressed with that. What I may do, I mean, does that look Christmassy to you? If you look at the label, it says Caron Anniversary Cake Special Edition, limited time only, and it has snowflakes on. and it's called Merry Maximus. So I'm sure it is meant to be Christmassy. But do you think that's necessarily exclusively Christmassy? I don't know. But I think it would make an amazing blanket. Probably need both of them for a really good sized blanket. Do I need another blanket? Not really. So I'll probably put these aside. I'll try and figure out where back there I can fit these things because they're so darned huge. And then I will probably save it for later on in the year when I know what I want to do with them. Unless I get some inspiration sooner than that. I don't know. All right, I am going to change the camera to the overhead just so that you can see me do a little bit more work on my slow stitching. Here's where I'm at so far. I've done lots of spiky light pink stitches on my dots, and I've done my blanket stitch on the leaves. And now I have a needle threaded with a darker green. Let's see, I guess I'm just going to start at an edge somewhere. And I think I'm just going to meander. I wonder, you know what? I think what I might do is I might just give myself a little bit of a path to follow. Say, start here. I'll just do a little dotted line just to help me figure out where I'm going. I wouldn't normally do this. But I am today. Let's see, where have I gone? Like this. All right. My lovely friend Annette came over the other day with my other friend Jane, and it was the day that we did what was it? It wasn't the thread bowls, it was the other thing. Oh yeah, collage. Bit of collage, bit of knitting. And she brought a big handful of embroidery hoops with her. I don't know if she's been collecting them from thrift stores or whatever, but I already had a few, but now I have got quite the collection hanging up there on my pegboard. And one of the things we plan to do pretty soon, you see what I'm doing? I hope so. One of the things we plan to do is make some sort of mandala with some embroidery hoops. She has made the most amazing mandalas that are backed on a piece of wood. Her husband's very supportive of her art, and he often makes frames for her art to be hung or whatever. And my mandalas are just incredible. I think I might have a photograph of the two she's done. And she started out with I think an embroidery hoop, and she's used things like domino pieces and all sorts of amazing stuff that she has. You know, she's got so much stuff in her art studio just to use for something creative. I really must see if I've got a picture of it so I can show you. And so hopefully the next time the three of us get together, we'll be able to get something like that done. I think it might be quite a long process. It might not be done in one session. And we'll probably have to do it at her house because I think she's going to let us rummage around in all the goodies that she's got stashed away. So that is going to be fun. I may have made myself a little guideline to follow, but I'm not following it very closely. I keep realizing that I've missed the dotted line that I drew. That's all right. I can iron it off later and no one will ever know. Well, except you guys, right? Between that leaf and that circle. And then that way. That way. Where do I want to go next? Oh, maybe this way. Oop. Yeah, I think I quite like doing that with the pen because that means that I've planned out my route and then I don't end up finding that I've painted myself into a proverbial corner and then I have to pull out the stitches and try again. So it's going to be another no alarm morning tomorrow, I'm glad to say, because I don't start till 1, which is awesome. I'll probably still end up being on cash again. Someone told me something when I was at the till today about stuff going down in Mexico, some major stuff going down in Mexico. And she was very concerned for her sister who had just arrived in Puerto Vallarta. And apparently there was all sorts of bad stuff happening because of the cartels there. And I thought, oh, that's not good. Our regular cashier spends 3 months every winter down in Mexico. I hope she's okay. So I quickly pulled my phone out of my pocket and sent her a message and said, I hope that's not near you. Sounds like she's okay. But I suppose it could affect her. Flights are cancelled. But she's not due back until end of March, beginning of April. So hopefully things will have settled down again by then. A little worrying for all concerned, I'm sure. Well, that piece of embroidery thread lasted well for 2 meandering lines. Okay, I've done 2 from that edge to that edge. Maybe I'll turn it and see where I'd like to go next. Maybe here? Now where am I going from there? This way. It's funny, if you're not careful, this blue line, or whatever colour pen you use, can disappear with the heat from your hands. I noticed when I was, where was it? Which one was I doing? I noticed when I was doing the straight lines the other day, if I was sewing away and this thumb had just been on the same spot for a little bit of time. I'm pretty sure, I'm not imagining it, but the lines disappeared slightly. This isn't going to be a quick project. Each section of stitching that I've done so far hasn't taken long, but I'm probably going to absolutely cover this in stitching. And then when I do that, and I've decided there's enough stitching on here, then I need to add lining to the back of it, fold it into a little pouch shape, and then hand sew the edges together like I did with my big one. One of the things I do like about working down here as opposed to upstairs on the couch is that I've got such good lighting down here. And as you know, if you have eyes the same age as me, mine, good lighting is so important. Finding that red yarn quite hard to work with in a low light situation with a toque. There's something so satisfying about a needle passing through fabric. And I think we're going to call that quits for tonight. Nice relaxing way to end the day. Now, where am I going to put this needle? I want to put it somewhere where I can see it, probably on this pale fabric here. Okay. You can probably see my lines better on that side. 2 meandering that way and 2 meandering across that way. And I'm going to do more. But I think that is good for now. Thanks for spending time with me again today. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I do love to receive your comments, so if you're making anything, knitting it, crocheting it, sewing it, whatever, I'd love to hear about it. I'll see you then. Bye for now.